Okay, we're live again.
We're back.
Let's try to make this work this time. Hey guys, this is Joy from jakeandjoy.com, and this is your weekly episode of Wake Up Your Badass. And this week we're going to talk about how you can take your excitement after you've been to an event or you've learned a bunch of stuff, how you can take that excitement and actually turn it into results in your business, or really even in your life, but in your business is what we're specifically talking about today. So before we jump into that, let us know if you're listening to us live. Again, we might have scared a few of you off with our technical gaffe in the last 10 minutes. But let us know where you're listening to us from, or if you're listening to us as a replay, type replay in the comment section, if you would, please. And Jake, where can people see us?
So lots of places. So if you're on any other social platforms, we're on a number of them. So we are on Instagram. Our handle is Jake and Joy Kelly. We do regular posts a few times a week, but we are pretty good about doing Insta stories every day. And then we're also on Twitter. Our handle is
you. I need to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. We're also on Twitter. Our handle is Jake and Joy. And you can also visit us at our website, jakeandjoy.com. You can opt into our email list, and we send emails a couple times a week. And by we, I mean my mom. She sends emails a couple times a week. And this is the divide and conquer kind of situation that we got going on here. And we also send a monthly newsletter that's a recap of all the best stuff from the month before, and it's really pretty cool. So like if you didn't see all our stuff and you want to see just the winners, you can check out our newsletter and see those there. But we're everywhere. So go. Oh, we also have a Facebook group. I always forget. We also have a Facebook group called Wake Up Your Health that is designed to help you focus on your physical and mental and emotional health, so that you can have the success and the health in your business that you're looking for.
So you can create an unstoppable life that you love. And how do they get our newsletter, Jake?
By opting into our email list. I already said that.
Oh, you did? Okay. I must have been sleeping. Okay. Well, let's jump right into the meat of what we're going to talk about today, because we just came back from a big conference. Last week we were actually recording while I was at conference. What did we talk about last week? How to build how to go to conference and how to invest in yourself. And I hope that all of you are going to either your company conferences, or if you're in network marketing, a network marketing conference, an online marketing conference. Jake and I are going to an online conference next week. We'll be speaking at an online marketing conference at the end of May, beginning of June. So we invest in ourselves really heavily because we know that that's really important. And so we just came back from this big conference our company puts on twice a year. And what happens for a lot of people is that you go to these big events, or you listen to a webinar, you listen to Jake and Joy on Wake Up Your Badass, and you get really excited. And then life is there, right? And so you don't use any of the information that you just got. I like to say we bask in the false coziness of unimplemented knowledge. You really want to let that sink in. We bask in the false coziness of unimplemented knowledge. And this happens for a lot of people. And we've seen this. I've seen this in the 24 years that I've been in this business. People love coming to conference because it's super fun. They get really pumped up. Then they go home and maybe their spouse was taking care of the house and everything's a mess. And it's like, oh my God, how can I even work, think about building an extra business when I've got work and I've got a house that's a mess and all of that. And then you don't do it. And then the excitement fades. And you think to yourself, oh, I wasn't meant to do that anyway, and I'm just going to deal with my life like it is. If that happens for any of you, give us a 1 in the comments box. If that happens for you, that you go to a conference and it's just like you come home and there's life. Now what? So we want to talk at our conference. One of our leaders, who's actually a real thought leader, runs a lot of thought thinking. Lots of thoughts you could be thinking. She runs a thought course about how we are and how that translates into business. And she gave us a really cool handout to work from. So we're going to actually work on that today with you. So Jake, do you want to read the first part?
So you've gone to and you can use this for any event, or even if you've watched something online or listened to something, or you've discovered someone new that you're following that you get really excited about. So you could use this worksheet over and over and over again. It's not a one-time thing and then you're done. It's like every time you go to an event, or every time you get inspired, pull out this sheet and use it. So
if you're in our email distribution list, I will send this to you when this call is over. I'll send that out. So if you're already on our email distribution list, I'll send it out. I'll give a couple hours. Maybe I'll do it tonight. So if you aren't on our email distribution list, you can get on it, and then you'll get this sheet.
Cool. So, so the first thing you want to do is right away, like before you, maybe before you even leave the event, or before you like get in your car to go home, or before you like go on to the next thing after you listen to the podcast or whatever, scribble down a couple of things. So the first thing is, what were the three personal messages that you took from whatever the event was? Like, what were the three things that spoke the most to you and that were really hit home for you? And we're going to give you a couple of examples just to kind of show you, help you kick this off. So for me, we went to had our big company conference, and for me, I don't talk about this that often on our shows, which I probably should talk about it more. But I built my business pretty quickly to our top position in our company, and even a few of our like more elite tiers after that. And then as my business sort of like plateaued out, I had a couple of leaders leave, and it was like kind of frustrating time. And over the last couple of years, I really have questioned whether or not this industry was the right industry for me, and whether or not like this is what I really wanted to do. And I was really frustrated and discouraged, and I think it's good for people to know that even people who are having success also get discouraged and feel frustrated. So it's not like once you're successful, those things go away. And so for the last couple of years, I've really been struggling with like, is this the right thing for me to be doing? And we've dived into online marketing, but being at this, and that's helped. But being at this conference, I saw people that were doing what I wanted to be doing. Like building online in a more forward-thinking way, and having huge success and having a lot of fun. I have that like I haven't been having in the last couple of years. And so for me, it was like, oh, okay, yes, I am in the right place. This is the right thing. I am doing, this is where I want to be. And it was a real moment of clarity for me about yes, I am where I'm supposed to be, and this is what I want to be doing. So that was, for me, that was a really big personal message that I got out of our big conference. And we go to a conference twice a year, but for whatever reason, at this particular conference, that was the message that I was receiving. So,
and I didn't even know that. And so Jake is just pointing out a really important reason why you go to conference. Like, I've been to 48 conferences in my 24 years. I've been to 48 conferences. And I always say that either you need conference or conference needs you. So, if you are someone who's already got a big team and you're like doing really great, and you've got energy to share, you need to be at conference to share that with everyone else. But if you're feeling like Jake was, you need to be at conference so that you can soak up everybody else's enthusiasm and everybody else's energy. For me, my personal message, I had a lot of personal messages, and I haven't done this worksheet yet, so I need to do this worksheet. So I probably don't feel in as strong a position as Jake to share. But one of the things that I really got was that, yes, I love doing all the online marketing stuff that we're doing, and it's really exciting for me. But I also have to remember that I have skills offline, and I've been using a
platform.
What do you call CRM? What's that an acronym for? It's customer.
I don't know. If anyone's watching knows what CRM stands for,
or has a device that you could look it up on. You should look at it. Nice to hear CRM, but it's a management system. And I've been using this management system now for the last few weeks, and I realized that I was thinking, this is just old school stuff. I really don't need to be focusing on that. But I do, and it only takes me about an hour a day. And if you're somebody who only has an hour a day, using a system like that could really work for you. So this is something that I really want to teach my newbies, is that using a system like this will give you an unending supply of people to talk to. Yes, it's talking to them one-on-one, and we like online marketing because we get to talk to a big group of people. Awesome, but I have to remember that people are in my business at all different levels, and I need to remember to stay relevant and be able to be good at all of those things. And because I do this full time, I can do that. So that was a big aha for me. Was that
yeah,
clear?
Good. Really good, really cool. So then the second part of the worksheet is, so now you got all excited, you learned all the stuff you've learned, you got your personal messages, and now how do you turn those what you learned into action, into actionable steps? And so what are the three things that you are going to take action on, like right now, basically, when you're home from this event? What are you gonna do? So you put these action steps in place so that it's not like, oh, I get home and then I got to figure out what I'm doing. I already know what I've got to do when I get home. So even though the house is a mess and maybe the laundry needs to be done or whatever, you still know that you have these things that you're going to get done alongside all those other things. So For me, I think for me, it was just we already have a lot of action steps in place, and so it's knowing that it was, for me, it was realizing that we're doing the right things and continuing to be consistent with what we've been doing. That was really big for me. So it wasn't necessarily adding anything. Well, I guess I haven't been. I on Instagram, I run my own personal Instagram, then I run our joint Instagram for our Jake and Joy brand, and having a more clear game plan for what I'm doing on Instagram was actually one of the things that I wanted to take on as well. So that was actually, I did have something.
You should share that with me so that maybe I can be a part of it. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I kind of dropped the ball yesterday on our Facebook plan. So for me, I joined a boot camp for the CRM that we're using because I want to see what it's like so that I can recommend it or not recommend it to my team. And I've got about 3,000 distributors, and I want to make sure that this is something that would help them. Also, we're redoing our campaign landing page. It didn't necessarily come out of conference, but if you want to see what our old campaign landing page looks like, it's still up, and Jake's going to post a link to that in the comments section. Check out our campaign landing page, because this might be something that you want to do, number one, but number two, you may want to know the different ways that you can work with me and Jake and me. It's Jake and me. So we'll post that, but we're changing our campaign landing page, so you may want to come back to it again and see what the differences are. So you can either model that, or you can decide that you want to work with us in some way or another. So that was the actual stuff that I got out of conference, those two things.
Cool. And then for those of you who maybe aren't clear what a campaign landing page is, it's basically a website to look at what it would be like to work with us. So that's what our campaign landing page is. So then the third part of the worksheet, the final part, is to really identify the passion and the purpose behind the activity that you're going to put in place. So why we don't like to use the word why, but I'm going to use it here. Why are these three action steps important? And what will it feel like to accomplish those? What's the feeling that you're going to have? What's it going to be like when you accomplish those three things? So you're not just saying, okay, these are the things I need to do, but actually like taking a second to pinpoint what is it going to feel like? Why? Like, what's the reason besides just like, oh, I need 3 action steps? What is it that I'm going to gain by doing these action steps? So that's the final piece. And I guess for me, in getting a more clear Instagram plan, what the reason that's important is then I will feel like I'm continuing to add value and bring value to those that are following us on there in a similar way to what we're doing on Facebook. I feel really confident in what we're doing on Facebook. We're really bringing you guys a ton of great value and a ton of great content. And by having a better plan for Instagram, I'll feel as confident about what we're doing there as I do here.
Cool. I don't know very much about Instagram. I'm terrible. For me, really doing the things that I have put into place, like doing the things that I said I was going to do, that brings me a sense of satisfaction. And that's something that I'm really looking for every moment of every day. I'm looking to feel satisfied. Like when I get up in the morning and I see the sunrise coming up, I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. How satisfying is that? How happy does that make? Because it's so easy to just look at things and go, that looks terrible. Or, I got to clean the cat box out. Or, geez, my husband didn't do the dishes last night when he went to bed. And, instead of I just keep looking at things that make me satisfied. And it comes a lot out of listening to Abraham Hicks. If you guys listen, really just filling myself up with what thought is going to serve me right now. Because the more I focus on negativity, the more that's going to show up in my life. And the more that I focus on what satisfies me, the more stuff that satisfies me shows up. So doing my CRM every day for an hour, that really gives me this sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. It really makes me feel great. And when we get things like redoing our campaign landing page, like when we do that, it's so satisfying. Jake, when we filmed those videos at conference, that made me feel so good. And yesterday when I rewrote the campaign landing pages, or was it Monday, that made me feel so satisfied. I got that done. Today I'm going to write a blog post. It's going to make me feel great. I'm going to write an email to you guys. And I feel so satisfied when I can check that off of my little list. Here's my list, and I love crossing things off that I got that done. So anyway,
cool. Awesome.
Is that all?
So those are the 3 sections of the worksheet. And again, Mama will send out an email to our email list later today with that worksheet. So if you're not on our email list, head to our website, jakeandjoy.com, and opt in, and you'll receive that worksheet. But that's all we have for you today. And
just click on our campaign landing page, and we have a joke. You have to have a joke.
Oh yeah. But before you tell a joke, if we would love to see what you guys fill out on the worksheet. We would love to even hear some of it. So if you want to comment below and let us know, like if you have things in any of those 3 categories, we'd love to share. Or if you want to email us or message us privately, we'd love to kind of go over that. Because sometimes what we did see, I've had some of our team fill these out, and when they talk about the action steps, sometimes there's a way for them to be more clear. And so if you're getting some help on, are these action steps clear, and does this make sense for my business, can be helpful. So we'd love to help you with that if that's something.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, you guys, when you share stuff and you put it out in the world, like you make it become real, like you give it life. It's one thing to have it going around and around in your head, but when you like get online and share with the world, like here's what I got, here's my intention, here's what I'm going to do, you make that live, and you actually even build up some accountability. Like Jake sharing what she shared, that was really vulnerable of her, but now it's out in the world. Like now she said it, and now she's like said, yeah, and now I feel excited again. So oftentimes like we feel something and we don't want to share it because like sharing it makes it real. But that's the thing, is that sharing it makes it real. So it's great that you shared that, Jake. Thank you. I have a joke. This is a Toastmaster joke. Came out of my.
So that means it's going to be really clean and really cheesy.
We always hear on Tuesday mornings, we have a joke master at our Toastmaster club, right? So there's a joke master who comes with a joke. And this guy, he must be in his 80s or late 70s, and he's got a very dry sense of humor, and he likes to print out his jokes. He brings us things that he thinks are really funny too. Anyway, it's just, so here's David Heidelberger's joke from yesterday. So 3 friends all die, and they go to heaven, and they meet St. Peter. He's the keeper of the gate at heaven, if you believe in heaven. And so he asks each one of them, what would you like to hear people say about you as you're laying in your casket at your funeral? And the first guy says, well, I would like them to say, wow, he was such a good friend, and he was a really good mentor, and he really built a great business, and I'm just really, I'm really glad that I knew him. And the second guy goes, well, I'd really like to hear from my family about what a great dad I was, and what a great husband, and just how many, I also like what a great teacher I was, and, how many lives I affected because of my great teaching. I'd love to hear people saying that. And the third guy says, I'd like to hear people say, look, he's still moving.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yep. That's Toastmaster worthy. Awesome. Well, that's everything. I'm going to post a link to our campaign landing page. So if you want to take a look at that and see what that's all about, you can. And also if you want to look at what it would be like to work with us, that's where you can check that out. So I'll post that in the comments, and you're going to send out that email after this.
And tomorrow we have a really exciting podcast. You're going to want to be on it. If you are someone who wants to be able to travel in your business, you're going to want to hear our speaker tomorrow. She's really awesome, and this has got incredible stories. So you want to join us tomorrow at the same time? No, actually, we'll be at 9:15 tomorrow. Cool. Did you know that, Jake?
Nope, now I do.
Okay. Yeah. We'll be at 9:15 because that works for Kimberly's schedule. So it's early. So get up early, and we'll get it done. And we're excited to share that with you. And we are Jake and Joy. I'm Joy. She's Jake. Jake and Joy from jakeandjoy.com. And every Wednesday we bring you another episode of Wake Up Your Badass. So go wake up your badass. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.